Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Tony Camponovo, and today I'm hanging out at Chuck Levin's with the brand new Helix Stadium XL by Line 6. So I think I'm going to start with just showing you how easy it is to operate the Helix Stadium and show you how simple you can set up presets of your own. So I'm going to go down here and just start with a completely empty preset. I like to go to right about the middle of the chain here and start with an amplifier. As you can see with the all new touchscreen on Stadium, it's easier than ever to select what you want to use. So I'm just gonna scroll through and look at my different options. I think for the sake of this video, I'm gonna go with the US Lux Black, and then we'll go back to our home screen. And as you can see, I'm already set up with the amp and the speaker cabinet, and then I can just select each one on the touchscreen as I want to edit. So I'll start with the amp. If you're used to the original Helix floor, you'll notice how familiar this looks. You've got your controls and parameters for the amplifier or your effects right here at the bottom with your control knobs. You can scroll over there and you can do everything manually. And I'm pretty happy with how this sounds right out of the gate. But if I want to change anything on the amp just from a simple point of view, I can select the focus view selection, which is right here. You'll see it on your screen here on the left. So when I select this, I've actually got a graphic image of my amp, and you've got this little icon in the middle, and I can just grab that and pull it to any of these corners, and you'll see words like lane, classic, noon, shaky, and these are just nicknames for different parameter settings. So it makes it easy just to kind of use your ear and adjust as you see fit. So if I want to go over here to classic, and you'll see the settings on your control knobs change as you move to the different settings in focus view. But I kind of just like a classic sound. Go back home, do the same thing with my speaker. Here's your mic options, which is familiar to anyone who has used the original Helix floor. So I can just scroll through there, pick whatever I want. A little bit bigger view of what I'm using. I like to use a 121 ribbon, but everything sounds good. And again, I can do focus view with the microphone as well. So if I want to change the mic placement, I can just drag it with my finger. And it doesn't get any easier than that. So all of that takes, 15 seconds, depending on how you want to scroll through and listen to everything that you have there. There's a lot of options, but if you know what you want, it doesn't take any time. Now I want to add a couple of effects maybe. I'll just tap farther down my effects chain. Maybe I want to add some reverb in there. Obviously there's a ton of reverbs, and I can just scroll through on the touch screen. Maybe we'll go with some dynamic plate. Maybe I want that amp to be a little louder too, so I'll just jump back over here and turn it up. Go back to my reverb. Again, I can go into focus view, and if I want, I can just choose something that's already there. Let's see what Hallelujah sounds like. Very lush. Go back home, maybe I want to add some boost or go to my distortions. Let's throw in the kinky boost. This is always a winner. So that just kind of beefs up my sound a little bit. Played Fender amps, you kind of know what I mean. That's a lot of reverb, so I'm going to turn that down just so you can hear the amp a little easier. We don't want it too saturated. So if I want to throw in some more distortion, I can add another distortion pedal. We'll go with the Minotaur. There we go. You've got your tone gain level. You've got your focus view. So once again, this just kind of takes all the guesswork out. Mid gain drive. Let's check that out. Very cool. It's easy to start adding lots of effects in this when you see how easy it is to just pick stuff and try it out. If you've never used it before, it's really easy just to try something and then move on to the next thing. One new feature I want to mention is if you've ever used the original Helix, you will notice a difference here. Whenever I add a new effect to my chain, I'm automatically going to have that placed on my pedal board down here on my foot switches. It's going to be in order and it's already going to be set up and named. The name of that pedal is going to be there already. So as you can see, I've got the dynamic plate right here, the kinky booster right here, the Minotaur, the overdrive, my delay. So everything just sets itself up automatically. Super intuitive, and that's about as easy as it gets. That's it in a nutshell for setting up a basic tone. It really didn't take me any time to set all that up and tweak the parameters to whatever my liking is with the help of focus view and just how easy it is to use the push button screen. So that's about all it takes to get a good tone on the Stadium. So we've introduced some brand new amp models on the Stadium. These are part of the Agoura model selection, and these are brand new from the ground up, more realistic than ever. So I want to go through a few of those and just show you how good they sound and how easy they are to access. And I've already got one set up here with the US Lux. This is just super basic. I'm gonna just leave it like it is. I am gonna add a tiny little bit of reverb, gonna be like dynamic room. So this is just gonna give you more of an amp in the room sound. It doesn't sound really saturated or anything. If you didn't know better, you may just think it was room noise. But you can definitely hear that, just that little bit of reverb from being in the room. I'll turn the mix down to about 20%. I'm just going through, selecting that on the touch screen. I've got the 160 ribbon mic. It's really easy to pick different mics. I'm a fan of the 121, so I've done that, and then I can just move that around however I want to there. And there's nothing else there. I mean, that's a pretty bare bones tone. I've just got the amp and cabinet and a little bit of dynamic room reverb. So for guys that just like a bare bones tube amp sound, it's really easy to find that. You can hear it's a little darker with that 121 ribbon mic. If I want to do something a little more traditional for like a live setting, I can go over here to the 57 dynamic. So moving on, I want to show you another Agoura amp model, and this one is going to be the Brit 2203 MV. It's going to be a classic British, really good breakup, classic rock sound. And I just went in there and pulled it out of my selection. I've got a 67 condenser mic on it, and I did add the dynamic ambience for my reverb. This is going to be similar to the dynamic room reverb, just a more realistic sound, like you're sitting in the room with the amp. Maybe not quite as obvious as reverb, but just a more three-dimensional sound. no, let's go ahead and spice it up just a little bit. We'll throw in, how about the Tima? And then maybe I want to throw a little delay in there. Maybe we'll go into our focus view and just try pulling to some of these settings. There's your simple slap. So I got a nice epic rock and roll lead sound there. I do have the Tima distortion pedal added, so that gives us some more gain and a little bit of reverb and some simple delay. So sounds killer. So moving on through the Agoura models, I'm going to show you the Essex TB30cc. This is going to be your classic Vox Class A style amp sound, very bright and sparkly. And I'll just let you hear that with no effects first, and then I'll spice it up a little bit. So if I want to add just a little more of a realistic feeling to it, I can always add the dynamic ambience. And that's such a subtle reverb that you really don't know it's there. It just gives it, again, that more three-dimensional sound. So yeah, I'm just going to add a little more of this dynamic ambience reverb. And again, it's so subtle, you barely know it's there. It just gives you a little more of a three-dimensional sound. Let's do something different with it. Let's just go add some dynamic plate and see how that sounds. That's a lot of reverb, so we'll turn the mix down. Put it on about 20%. That's better. So that gives us some nice depth. So it's just the amp with the dynamic plate reverb. I'll go with some simple delay, simple slap, so I can just go into the focus view, pull the icon down here to the corner, it says simple slap. So it's going to give us that classic slap back country-ish delay. Bring that mix down. So right now the mix is on 30%. I'm going to bring it down to 20 or 19. Maybe bring the feedback down just a scotch. I really like that reverb and delay combination. Let's give it a little more. Let's go to our effects chain a little farther down, right before the amp. I'll go into my distortions. How about the compulsive drive? This is going to be pretty aggressive for something like this, but it's a classic. This is going to be like your OCD distortion pedal. And once again, if I want to make life easy, I'll just go into focus view and I can pick from one of these selections that just kind of takes the guesswork out of it. Huge mids. So you'll notice when I added all that distortion that we've got a lot of noise coming through the signal, which is just normal for these kind of pickups, you know, single coil pickups on a Telecaster. But I can go to my input right here at the beginning of my chain. You see the little guitar icon. And right here I've got an input gate, and I just turn that on, and then it's super quiet. The tone doesn't change, but I get rid of all that noise. Yeah, that's a lot of distortion, so maybe I don't want that much. So I can just go back into my distortion options in the menu and go through and pick something different if I want. Maybe I want this tone sovereign. Of course, you can adjust anything, but since we have all these options, we might as well try it. Let's go to the light OD setting on the tone sovereign. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so let's change up the delay a little bit. I'm gonna go, let's try this one. How about? Wow. Goes on forever. That's what it says. Goes on forever. You know what it means when you read that. Very nice, very nice. And I've got the dynamic plate reverb going too, so just an all-around epic tone. Maybe a little too epic. Let's go to the longest delay. With a little bit less delay here, now you can really hear the difference with the tone sovereign distortion pedal. So I just want to show you something else you can do with your amp models. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to pull up this US Tweed Man, and you will notice that when you select your speaker cabinet, you'll have one cabinet that's essentially engaged and another one that says no cab. So all you've got to do to change that is tap on it and then go through your cabinet menu and pick what you want to use. So just for an example, let's grab this 1x12 Fullerton. And now you're going to have a whole separate cabinet, and you can put a whole different microphone on it if you want to. So it's got the 7 dynamic mic already, so I'm just going to leave that on there, see how it sounds. We'll go ahead and throw just a little bit of reverb. How about some spring reverb? So it just gives you more to work with, more options. You can use the same cabinet with different mics or different cabinets altogether in any combination of microphones that you want. Just like another cool feature.